The Y is so much more than a gym, and the impact that the Y has in the community is truly extraordinary. That really there's a ripple effect to that, and primarily it goes to scholarships that enable all of these amazing stories and these amazing community members to participate in these programs, and it can't happen without those gifts.
My sister Mary has Down syndrome, and she also learned to swim at the Y. My mother almost gave up the challenge of having Mary learn to swim because Mary liked to play more than she liked actually listening to the swimming lessons. Until all of a sudden the penny dropped and she decided she was ready and she took off across the pool. And years later she won a silver medal at Special Olympics World Games in Notre Dame.
Unfortunately, last August I lost my husband quite suddenly and my life changed pretty drastically. I am a close to be 68-year-old recent widow who has found a new purpose with my life and getting on with fitness and taking care of myself through the YMCA. So there's another email blast from the Y, join this LEAP program. And I started reading about it and I said, geez, this is great. You can get a personal trainer, twice a week for 8 weeks. After the first 8 weeks, I did another 8 weeks. I was working with a group of other ladies and we challenged each other on our laps, and always in the background, Marcy Ann saying, come on, you can do it. And I'm in the zone and I'm like doing what I have to do, counting down how many more times do I have to do the circuit to get myself through, and finally starting to see the benefits, weight loss and inch loss and feeling better. I mean, I don't know how they do it without it has to be donor contributions to be able to make that happen.
The YMCA, in particular the YMCA, the Newport County YMCA, has been enormously effective throughout the entire state in putting together the adaptive program. The adaptive program is one where people with physical and intellectual disabilities can come to the Y. They can experience all of the benefits of YMCA membership. And there's also a social element to it, where there are get-togethers, there are dances, there are classes. At 3 years old, these kids will start to use the YMCA, gain physical skills, gain confidence, and do it together so that people grow up understanding that there are differences in people's lives and there are people with different abilities. And it's no big deal.
So I started going to the Y when I was 8 years old. And it was a time in my life where everything kind of got turned upside down. I was diagnosed with a degenerative bone disease in my hip. And I had grown up playing soccer and sailing and football and basketball, and all of a sudden I couldn't do any of it, and my doctors told me that I'd never be able to run, I'd be on crutches for the foreseeable future, I'd never be able to play sports again, and I'd probably have to get dual hip replacements by the time I was in my 20s. So, my life and my family's life completely changed at that point, and I didn't have everything that I thought I'd have as a kid. And so, I was really lucky to have an amazing physical therapist at OPT, who does a lot of work with the Y, and they introduced me to everything there. And so I kind of started growing up at the YMCA. I joined their swim team shortly thereafter. I was going to water therapy during the day where my parents would take me out of school. So I was there 2 to 3 times, sometimes every day. And I just kind of started growing up at the Y, and they became a second family to me.
We're very lucky that we have such a philanthropic community. We have committed foundations who have helped us with all kinds of things. And we have ordinary people who see what the Y has done, maybe not even for their kids or their family members, but for the community in general, and make that contribution.
I'm one of the very, very lucky people who comes out of my disease and is able to live a normal life. I mean, when I was first diagnosed, my situation did not seem like it was going to be this way, and now I run marathons. I compete in swimming, and I've been able to live a life that I didn't think I'd be able to. And there's a lot of people who end up in wheelchairs who have dual hip replacements and deal with pain every day, and it's something that I never had to. And part of that was the Y, part of it was my physical therapist, but it was the team around me when I was younger that made it possible, and the Y was a huge part of that.
The Y wouldn't be able to do the kinds of programs it has without people whose hearts are big enough to help support financially. And for that, all of us on an organizational level, and for me and my sister Mary, on a very personal level. So that's critical and it's appreciated.